What's up? It's time for another film review. Now, a couple months ago, I reviewed Halloween Ends, and I'm like, a few days ago, so I should probably watch the other two and finally review those for the final trilogy that they did. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. Today we're gonna talk about Halloween, the 2018 remake slash sequel that came out. So Halloween 2018 was released by Universal Pictures sometime in October 2018, and it was produced by Malik Akkad, Jason Blum, and Bill Block. Written by Jeff Frodley and Danny McBride, and co-written and directed by David Gordon Green. Now, if that name sounds familiar, well, he'll go on to do the two sequels to this one, Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. He also would go on to do the new Exorcist movie that comes out this October, The Exorcist Believer. But he also did Pineapple Express and Stronger, so he has a good grasp of the film industry because he went from comedy to horror. He's done some action films and things like that, so it's all over. This had a budget of only $10 million, but it made over $259.9 million when it came out. So, yeah, Halloween. Well, it starts off with some new what do you call them? Psychologists who go and talk to Michael Myers in the mental institution. He's an older guy now. It's been like over 30 years. And they go talk to him, bring his mask, which somehow makes him click and go on another killing spree. So basically, they go to escort him somewhere to like some other facility, and there's a bus crash, somewhat like the similar escape to the original. There's a lot of nods to the original in this, and and he escapes. He finds his mask, and he goes on a killing rampage trying to find his sister again. But Jamie Lee Curtis returns as Laurie Strode, and she's an alcoholic psycho grandmother now, which I think suits her very well. She did a great job at playing it. The acting in this film is really good. And as she goes, she tries to convince her daughter and her kids that he's coming back, and eventually they don't, obviously typical horror movie, they don't believe her first, and then once things start really getting into going to shit, they basically come and try to help team up to take him down. It's a typical route they took for this one. Yeah, and the kills in this movie are brutal. I love the look of the makeup effects and the way they kill, even if though they don't show some of them. The aftermath still looks fantastic. The gore effects and the makeup and everything just makes it so unsettling. It's like you take the original, you take Rob Zombie's one from 2007 and twist it together, and you get this interesting dark mash of an interesting reboot type of film. And yeah, I like that. It's well shot too. It was very well shot. The music complements it really well. John Carpenter did help do the music for this one. I think his son also helped work on it, and it really works for this. And yeah, and it definitely stays in the vein of the first two Halloween movies. They don't go too crazy. They don't try to make it too dull, and it works pretty well for it. It's a good setup. You can tell it's a setup movie. So it's the first, and then they we're going to do at least one sequel, but it did so well they signed on to do two more. Yeah, gore effects, special effects, all that was fantastic. I think I said that. And overall, the acting and all that was really well done. Some of the side characters were pretty dull and fleshed out. There is some weird moments with like the doctor and stuff that I didn't really agree with, that I didn't think they should have went that route. I know they're trying to do stuff differently, but I think that kind of tilted the film in an odd direction, but it might work out in Kills or something. But for now, I think it kind of pushed it a little bit. But for the most part, the film is entertaining. It's good. You get a lot of homages to the original, and they do some new things in there. Now, to be totally fair with you guys, I don't get why it was so hyped though. Everyone was saying this is like the best one and stuff like that. Yeah, it's really good. I'm not gonna lie, it's a good movie, but there's a lot of similarities to the other Halloweens in this. They don't do too much to make it something different. They kind of played it a little too safe, I thought. Now they don't, but I did like how they didn't go over the deep end doing something totally radical and different. And when I talked in ends, I love the fact that they did something where they rode the line of something almost veering off to the too different, but they still kept the course. And yeah, that's the one thing I like about so far this trilogy is that they ride that course well. This one, they stay really close to the franchise, and I think they slowly back away from it and try to do their own things in the next two films. So yeah, I've already talked about Halloween Ends, so it's kind of interesting trying to explain this. But yeah, overall though, Halloween 2018 is a fun movie. It's a good movie. You like the franchise, you'll like it, obviously. If you didn't like the franchise, you probably won't like it. And if you're new to the franchise, it's good because they actually sort of like, they don't sugarcoat it or they don't like spoon feed you what happened in the other ones. This one kind of just quickly summarizes it in a good way, get enough information just to move forward with it. So overall, I thought the film was good. It just, some characters could have been tweaked, and they could have tweaked the story a little bit, and it would have been better. But for the most part, still good. So I'm going to give Halloween 2018 a 4 out of 5. So yeah, but if you want to check it out, I think it's still on Netflix. It might not be now. I know the sequel is, but oh yeah. But yeah, I'll link the trailer down below so you can check it out if you haven't seen it. You want to check it out, or if you want to relive it or whatever, it's on down there. Also, make sure you check out my Instagram. That's where I always post clips of films I'm going to review in the future on my stories. You have the film time hashtag, subgenre film and hashtag, so you're aware of it. Also, my Letterbox is down below at Derek P Reviews. That's where I post my first star rating when I have to watch the films. And my Twitter's down below at reviews_Derek. So follow me on those platforms. Stay in the loop with this channel. Like this video, share some more people wherever it. Comment your opinions of the film down below if you have any. And if you have any films or film franchises in any genre that you want to hear my opinions on in the future and on any streaming service, comment them down below. I'll try my best to get to them as soon as I can and if I can find them. Also, let me know what your favorite Halloween movie is down in the comments as well. Make sure you subscribe. Hope you find something weird, obscure, and odd that you probably never thought of checking out together. And also show you my opinions on popular films that have come out, classic films, reviews on other things. And yeah, so make sure you subscribe. And don't forget to ring that bell because, well, obviously we're going to talk about Halloween Kills, the one other one of this trilogy I haven't talked about yet. So we're going to be reviewing that in the next review. Also, if you want me to review the rest of the Halloween franchise, the other like 7 films I haven't talked about, I know there's like at least 10 others, but I've reviewed some of them already. So I'll comment them down below and I'll try my best to get them as soon as I can as well. But yeah, that's it for this one. Watch out for all those crazy psycho killers wearing Michael Myers masks out there because Halloween's around the corner and there's going to be a lot of them. Perfect time for psychos to go psycho. So watch out for all those, guys. And I guess I'll see you all in the next one. So until then, cheers.